you guys, it's me, Rachel here with Senza Tempo Cane Corso. So, it's pretty awesome today. It's actually snowing outside, which is like crazy. Couldn't believe it. I'll show you guys. Stay. So, look at that snow, y'all. Shh, no, not you, Batista. Hey! Get your butt up there right now. You get up there and you sit down. He's like, but Ma. Anyway, so yeah, it's snowing, if you want to call it that. I know some people are going to laugh and be like, that's not snow, Rachel. But you know what? Here, it is snow. Don't you move. Get up there and lay down right now. Go. You're on bed rest. Go. So, Batista's surgery was a success. Mr. Stubborn, get up there and lay down. So they did the surgery on him. Very happy about that. He did have to stay overnight. I guess he was having a hard time waking up from the anesthesia. Look at him staring off in the distance. He's, as you can see, I had to duct tape his his cone because he kept getting into it. And I even, like, whenever I went to go and pick him up, I was like, y'all got the cone, right? The same cone. And they were laughing. They were like, yeah. They're like, that's pretty sturdy. And I was like, well, you know, he started to get to it again, so I had to. He's wicked crazy how he's able to get to these cones and start gnawing away at them little by little. So, anyway, I'm really glad, though, that that's over with. They did say that his eye will get worse before it gets better. So they did something called a burr. I could be wrong on the terminology on that, but if I remember correctly, it was called a burr. And basically, if I'm not mistaken, they remove the top of the cornea, which promotes healing of the ulcer on his eye. And then they did the reattachment of I don't know what all they did, but we took him to the Austin Central Texas specialty. There's like a Dr. Barnes, she's an ophthalmologist, really nice lady, and they just did a wonderful job with him, and they loved him as usual. He's got a really great temperament. Everybody's really happy, and so I'm just glad that that's over and done with. He still has quite a bit of medication that he has to take, but you know, we are in the clear now. And he also has to be rechecked in 2 weeks. So we set an appointment for that. I believe we're going in on the 19th. And we'll get that looked at. So I'm very, very, very excited about that. Other than that, he's been doing really good. I do have to keep him from rubbing his eye, which is so much harder than you think it would be. Even though he has that cone, he's constantly trying to, like, rub his face on, you know, like the side of my bed and furniture and all kinds of stuff. And so I've really been trying to think of, like, I told the lady, we were talking and she's like, just make sure he does not rub it. And I was like, you know how hard that is. And she's like, I know, he's huge. And I was like, truthfully, sometimes I feel like I need to, like, hobble him. I said, not that I'm going to. I was like, you know, like, it's just a thought, you know what I mean? When you're just like, you're desperate not to have this animal re-injure himself. And I was like, you know, trying to imagine ways of keeping him from doing it. And she just laughed. But as you can see, he's obviously not hobbled. But yeah, but that's, you know, that's good. Just kind of keeping an eye on him. I take him everywhere with me, which is pretty funny. Like I have him in the car, and then I've been taking him, like I took him to Ulta, and as I walk through the aisles, I literally have to take his cone and I have to pinch it so that we could fit through the aisles together. Everybody gets a huge kick out of it. They love him. Took him to Office Depot, just everywhere. And it's like, I can't leave him unsupervised. He has to be with me at all times. I have to be monitoring and watching him. When Savannah's out of school, then she helps me with that. But, you know, during the week she's at school. And so when I need to run errands during the week, he's here with me, and there's just nothing else that I can do about it. Also, pretty girl Pantera here most likely will be leaving on Saturday morning to go to her new home. We're not yet sure if we're going to do a co-own or if they're just going to purchase her outright. I did give them both options, so I guess we'll see what happens with that. I do need to send them over my co-own contract. I've just been super duper duper busy, and I haven't had the opportunity to do that. So I'm going to be sending that tonight. But like I said, they may or may not do the co-own, which is fine by me. I have Nirvana, and Reese and I are best friends. If I need to do that breeding again, I can. I have full access to Achilles, just like she has access to my studs. We kind of work in tandem that way, so it's totally fine. And you know what I may end up... Oh, that's right. I forgot to tell you guys. So the Trinity breeding, right? So I've got Trinity up there, and the breeding with Blondie went so well with Achilles that I decided that instead of breeding Trinity to that blue male that's up in New York, I'm actually going to breed her to Achilles instead. I did also like that. So that blue male, he's nice and everything, but his croup is a little steep for me, a little short, little steep, which isn't a bad thing. Like, it's not a huge fault, but it's not even as bad as, like, say, Preacher's. But because she has that same fault, and it's in her lines, because Preacher has it, I just felt like it probably wouldn't be best. He's also kind of square, and Trinity is also slightly square. Preacher is as well. So I really need to bring in some length. So anyway, so like I said, I really liked the breeding with Blondie and Achilles. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to breed Trinity to Achilles, and then on her second heat. So right now, I want to say she's around 9 months old, 9 or 10 months old. She's born in April. So when she has her first heat, then it'll be 6 months from then, and we'll just go ahead and breed her to Achilles, and then we will, I'll drive up there, bring her back, and then whenever Belladonna goes into her third heat, because she's already had her first heat, but she had it at 7 months old, so she's too young. She should be going back into heat very soon, and so we'll go ahead and we'll skip that heat too, because like I said, she only recently turned a year old. And so then, so 6 months from her second heat. So anytime now she'll go into heat. So really in about 6 months, around the same time, actually, probably as the Trinity breeding, I'm going to, in fact, I hope it really is, because if I can take Belladonna up there whenever I go to pick up Trinity, and I can breed Belladonna to, that blue male, that would be really cool, because Belladonna has good length, her croup is fine, there's a lot that I think they could benefit from each other, so I still want to utilize that male. It's just that I want to make sure that I'm doing the right pairing, and that I'm not just doing it just to do it, because you can have a really nice dog, but if you don't put them to the right partner, then you may not produce as high quality as you're striving to. So that's my plan going forward for that. Oh, and then also, last but not least, everybody knows my dachshund. Really, Blair? Really? So anyway, so my dachshund, the transporter, I guess the passport got messed up or something like that. And they told me it would be 6 to 7 days back on, I think, the 28th, whenever they contacted me. And so now it has been long enough. They contacted me today and told me that the puppy has actually already been shipped, and she'll be here on Saturday. So I will be going to pick her up Saturday. So Pantera will go early in the morning, between 9 and 10 in the morning. And then Savannah and I are going to drive to Houston to go and pick up the dachshund at 2:30. And I've already got somebody that I've paid to watch the dogs for me here, so that's not a problem. They'll be watching the puppies for me. Really, Blair? No, preacher. And so anyway, they are wilding out in there, I swear. It must be the snow. So anyway. So yeah, I just thought I would give you guys an update on everything going on. So the dachshund will officially be coming in this weekend. And then also, last but not least, I do have one female spot available. I've received 2 additional deposits for females. And then I have been speaking to somebody about the second pick male spot. But if in fact that doesn't work out, then I will still have him available. So if you have submitted an application for them, please just give me a call. It's very important that you follow up with a phone call and let me know. And that way we can go over your application together. Yeah. So anyway, hope you guys are having a really good night. If you're in Texas, I hope you're enjoying our snow, the snow flurries. And yeah, I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.